not ready. It's all about I, me. I let this team outstandingly. The people say it's return, not me. It's a dog-eat-dog mentality. We're losing that sense of real unity. It was supposed to be all about we. Now it's I, all about me. It was supposed to be about country. Now it's I, me. We are losing sight of the big picture, which is to serve people and make their lives better. All the distraction about leadership is taking us on a dangerous ego trip that is damaging the ship and the comradeship and the fellowship of a family relationship. We can't let power struggle make the team vulnerable in the face of the opposition battle. This purported rivalry between captain and deputy is tearing the heart out of unity. It's all about I, me. It's my turn next for the captaincy, even though some saying I'm not ready. It's all about I, me. I let this team outstandingly. The people say it's return, not me. It's a dog-eat-dog mentality. We're losing that sense of real unity. It was supposed to be all about we. Now it's I, all about me. It was supposed to be about unity. Now it's I, me. At that time, like
Good morning, welcome to another edition of Frank and Candid. I am Tony Nias, glad to have you on this hump day. Hope all is well. Let's begin as we usually do with what's in the news. Federal Minister of Education, Jonell Powell, has sent a stern warning to those parents who continue to knowingly send their sick children to school, noting that they could be charged under the current regulations. In recent weeks, there has been an uptick in the number of confirmed cases being present in schools and among children. And the minister has acknowledged that they have found sick children entering the schools. The minister told reporters recently those parents can be charged under the COVID-19 Act. And this is why we are saying that the whole resumption of school and the opening of schools must be a partnership between the Ministry of Education and other stakeholders, for example, teachers as well as parents. He acknowledged that the ministry is doing all it possibly could to provide a safe environment for children to learn, but parents need to be responsible and adhere to the rules and regulations. If you are supposed to be in isolation or quarantine, then stay home. Do not send your children to school. Just recently, a number of educational institutions were forced to return to remote learning after it was discovered that there were positive cases among staff and students. Among those institutions were the Charles E. Mills Secondary School and the Washington Archibald High School. In the case of the Washington Archibald School, 2 students were identified as coming from a household where positive cases were reported and were deemed as possible contacts, while at the Charles E. Mills, a teacher had tested positive, and out of precaution, officials reverted to remote learning. The government of Antigua and Barbuda has updated its travel advisory as the Center for Disease Control and Prevention added the country to its highest travel advisory this past Monday. Starting October 1st, 2021, all arriving passengers will require a negative COVID-19 RT-PCR test within 4 days of their flight or fewer. Children below the age of 5 years entering Antigua do not require the test. Likewise, from October 1st, all arriving passengers, including returning nationals and residents, are required to have received at least one dose of a World Health Organization or Ministry of Health, Wellness and Environment approved 2-dose COVID-19 vaccine or a single-dose vaccine to be permitted entry into Antigua and Barbuda. Children under the age of 18 years arriving at the port of entry are exempted from this requirement. And passengers who knowingly present false declarations of COVID-19 certificates on arrival will be fined according to the laws of Antigua and Barbuda. Visitors may be required to undergo testing for COVID-19 on arrival or at the hotel or place of lodging as determined by health authorities. Passengers arriving by sea are subject to quarantine according to the guidelines issued by Port Health. And out of Dubai, former West Indies cricketer Marlon Samuels was charged on Wednesday with breaching 4 counts of the ICC's anti-corruption code while playing in a limited overs competition in the United Arab Emirates. The charges against Samuels, who hasn't played for West Indies since 2018, relate to the T10 League in Abu Dhabi, the International Cricket Council said, without giving any dates. Samuels is said to have failed to disclose the receipt of any gift, payments, hospitality or other benefit that could bring him into disrepute, as well as the receipt of hospitality worth 750 or more. The ICC also said Samuel failed to cooperate with an anti-corruption official and concealed information that may have been relevant to the investigation. Samuel has 14 days to respond to these charges. In 2008, Samuels, a big-hitting right-hand batsman, received a 2-year ban from the ICC after being caught on tape passing on match-related information to an Indian bookmaker during West Indies ODI series in India. Let's look at what's happening around us to date in news. All right. Today we are continuing as we observe this month of National Pride, Independence, and all of that good stuff. And we're keeping our focus on the national issues here. From time to time, the debate about our independence come to the fore, and today is no exception. It has been 38 years since we decided to move and change our status and become an independent nation. And the question is, should we keep our present status, or should we move on and become a republic? The Republican debate has raged for years in this region, especially between the older citizens who see the Queen as a symbol of stability and mostly the younger nationalists who call her an old-fashioned item. The debate is the same across many Commonwealth countries that once were part of the British Empire and retained the Queen as their head of state after independence. So far, a few former British colonies in the region, including Dominica, who went directly to that status, as opposed to the route that we have taken, and Trinidad and Tobago have established republican forms of government. But the majority of others have not replaced the Queen with another head of state, even though many of their leaders have from time to time called for the tie to be cut. As we speak, the Queen is still head of state of the following Caribbean islands: Antigua, the Bahamas, Barbados, Grenada, Jamaica, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. Even though in that list, Barbados is full steam ahead and planning to change their status by the time they celebrate independence this year, November 30th, and plans are well afoot to change their status to a republic. We'll see how that goes. Apart from the independent states, there are, those overseas territories such as the British Virgin Islands and Anguilla. Just mentioned those for completeness, but we are focused here on the independent states. When it comes to the move to a republic, there are a number of Caribbean leaders who have been known to and have been on record as talking the talk, but they have really not walked the walk. Why not? And let's look at some of them. In Jamaica, upon taking power in early 2012, former Jamaican Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller said of the Queen, quote, "I love the Queen. She is a beautiful lady. And apart from being a beautiful lady, a wise lady and a wonderful lady." Then went on to insist that Jamaica must remove the monarch as head of state, in part because of slavery legacy. But to date, nothing has changed since Portia Miller Simpson made that statement. And for quite a while, Barbados was in that position. In 2015, former Barbados Prime Minister Stewart announced that the plan was to make Barbados a republic by November of 2016, when the island was to celebrate their 50th anniversary of independence. He said it makes no sense to keep the monarch as head of state of an otherwise independent country. And during a public meeting of his then ruling Democratic Labour Party, Stewart went on to say, quote, "It's a little awkward in the year 2015 to still have to stand up and instead of pledging allegiance to Barbados, to be pledging allegiance to Her Majesty the Queen." He said, "Today in Barbados, the Queen is still head and we need to change that." Well, today in Barbados, the Queen is still head and hasn't changed. But I must note, like I said, Barbados is planning, and they're making all the plans to do so by this November, and we will see if that comes true. Also of note, Barbados is one of those countries who have adopted the CCJ as its final court of appeal since 2005, getting rid of the London-based Privy Council as the court of last resort. Let's go to the Bahamas. In 2012, then Bahamas Prime Minister Perry Christie, he formed a constitutional commission which examined whether the Bahamas would evolve from a constitutional monarchy into a republic within the Commonwealth of Nations. The commission report was released in July of 2013. In that report, the commission wrote, quote, "The traditional argument for the evolution to republican status is that it is a natural step toward completing the circle of independence and attaining full sovereignty, and that the retention of the British monarch is an historical anachronism, a hangover from the colonial era that formally ended in Bahamas 40 years ago." The report noted that removing the Queen as head of state and transitioning to a republic would involve considerable financial, administrative, social, and cultural costs for the Bahamas. And he offered a few examples of costs as follows. They talked about the royal insignia on government buildings would have to be removed. The Royal Bahamas Defense Force and Royal Bahamas Police Force would have to undergo rebranding. In the end, the commission did not recommend removing the Queen as head of state. Let's go down to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In 2009, St. Vincent and the Grenadines voters were asked if they wanted to vote for a new constitution and move to a republic form of government, replacing the Queen as the head of state. The referendum was split along party lines. The ruling Unity Labour Party led the Yes campaign, and the New Democratic Party led the opposition No campaign. A vote of 2/3 was needed to approve the Constitution, but final results revealed 56% voted no, and only 43% voted yes. The new Constitution and the move to a republic was rejected. It would seem that most of the anti-monarchy movement, or the push for the Republican form of government across the Commonwealth, is often spearheaded by politicians as opposed to grassroots organizations. I say that because the issue, as we see, has been put to the electorate on many occasions, with the results showing exactly that. There is not the required support from the public, from the masses, for the move. Some may argue that the 2/3 requirement is a tough mountain to climb, but if there is a groundswell of support for the move, it will be easily surmounted. Even outside the region, the results suggest the same. In 1999, Australians were asked if their country should become a republic, rejecting the Queen as head of state. In the final count, no votes took a narrow lead with 55% voting against the proposition. So the Australians also rejected a republic. Let's go to Canada. In 2012, the Liberal Party held a vote at its policy convention as to whether Canada should keep the monarchy or become a republic. More than 60% voted against the idea of a republic. So, across the board, across the Commonwealth, the vote is not there, the support is not there among the masses for a move to a republic. What will happen in St. Kitts and Nevis if we put that to a referendum? I don't know. We've never done so. I hear all the arguments for the move. I even agree with some of the arguments. But what I do know is that there's not even the appetite to put the question to a referendum here in St. Kitts and Nevis. So, I remember a conversation that was released in a newspaper where the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbados, while visiting Fidel Castro in Cuba, in a light discussion, he said to the then Fidel Castro, leader of Cuba, that he was thinking of moving Antigua and Barbuda to become a republic. Castro, being pragmatic, asked the question, why would you want to do that? Does the Queen interfere with the affairs of Antigua and Barbuda? To which the Antiguan leader replied, no, she doesn't, and went on to explain to Castro that really and truly she really has nothing to do with Antigua and Barbuda. She's just there, apart from signing off on some legislation, which they have to do anyway. She doesn't really interfere in the internal affairs of Antigua and Barbuda. So then Castro replied, then why? Why, if it doesn't bother you, doesn't affect you, why make the change? He further stated, Castro did, that the fact that the Queen is head of state actually offers a certain level of stability and comfort and to other countries when they're talking to Antigua and Barbuda. So you might want to reconsider and look at all the options, because as pointed out, she doesn't bother you. So most of the thoughts about the move to a republic has to do with some emotions. But if you look at all of the benefits, if there are any, and you ask the question, well, what are the benefits of moving to a republic? Is there some economic benefits you get? Remember, the Queen has nothing to do with your economy. The economy in this country and in these countries are run by our people. And so if they fail or they succeed, it is not the Queen's doing. We run our own internal affairs here. So, as far as the economy is concerned, there's really no benefit either way. At least that I can see. You may see something different. What are the benefits do we have? Well, the benefits that people talk about more mostly is that, we get rid of the Queen, and we get our own head of state. Okay, fair enough. If that's a feeling that you're comfortable with, that's a feeling that you want the Queen out of here, and one of your own president becomes head of state, then you're free to believe in that. But like I said, most of it is emotional, and I'm anxious to hear your thoughts on either side of that argument as to the Republic of St. Kitts and Nevis. Those are my thoughts. You may have a different opinion, and I welcome those as usual. When we come back, 465-2555 and 718-577-2916 are the numbers. We will be back after this quick word.
Working for you. A weekly talk radio program which highlights developments of national interest and the activities of your St. Kitts Nevis government. Join host Roy Williams as he presents news, views, reports, and interviews about everything regarding the activities of the Team Unity government and the building of our communities and the development of St. Kitts Nevis. Tune in and call in to interact with your government and share your views regarding the upward forward development of your community and our beautiful Twin Island Federation. Working for you is weekly, every Wednesday live from 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. on ZIZ Radio, Win FM, and Sugar City FM with rebroadcast on participating stations. Working for you.
Hassle-free loans for your every need. Cards have you covered, best believe.
Are the kids headed back to school and you need money now? Call Courts Ready Cash and get money in your bank account in as little as 24 hours with our back to school promotion. There's absolutely no deposit required. All you need is a government ID, a utility bill, your payslip, and a job letter. It's that easy and hassle-free. Plus, if you apply today, you can take advantage of our reduced interest rates and pay nothing for 60 days. Call us today at 466-1640 or visit us online at www.readyfinancecaribbean.com and let us help you get the funds you need for back to school. Conditions apply.
We got it all, we on the go. Cards Ready Cash, you already know.
Courts Ready Cash, ready when you are.
All right, welcome back to Frank and Candid on this Wednesday. I'm Tony Nias, and we are talking, facilitating the debate as to our status here in St. Kitts and Nevis and the region in general, Republic or not. Let's go to the phones and say good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Nias, how are you?
I am well. How are you doing?
Giving thanks for life. Just want to did not get the opportunity to weigh in on the sentiments of the Patriots, and I did weigh in on it and wish them well. So now that they have crossed and made a milestone in terms of their victory, I just wish to belatedly wish the Patriots, congratulations to the guys.
Okay.
Republic or not? Yes, Republic for me.
Okay.
But before I go there, have you ever heard the term Crown Lands?
Yes, I have.
What is the definition of Crown Lands? What is the significance when you say Crown Land? What does it mean? A crown, a parcel of land, which is crown land, as opposed to lands that does not have that connotation crown to it, or the title designated word crown to it.
Well, the simplest way to put that is a private land or it's government owned. I mean, that's the simplest way to look at it.
Oh.
Why?
Well, I was just curious in terms of crown. We know who wears the crown.
Mm-hmm.
Don't the Queen wear the crown around here?
Okay.
Yes. I was just trying to see if there's any connection as to the lands and who's the sole owner of the land.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but be that as it may, yes. I'm all for being that way, because there was another conversation I heard on another radio station as to what strides we had made, being Commonwealth or not. But we can conclude that from being associated states was first arranged under St. Kitts Nevis and Anguilla in 1967, and then St. Kitts and Nevis went into our independence, and then getting into independence as a Commonwealth, we have made strides in terms of our development and the like. So that would not deter us from making strides. What I could say that it will give us more impetus to see that on our journey, we have come from statehood into independence, Commonwealth independence, and then the next step in our journey into Commonwealth. In terms of who we are, whatever vestiges are there, whatever residues are there of we not being excelling ourselves to our people in our entirety, in our wholesomeness, like Bob Marley sang the song, Emancipate Yourself from Mental Slavery. Whatever vestiges of the mental aspect on your psychovisual, your mind, your psyche, would have been able to be, the shackles would have been able to fall to the ground. Coming from when the shackles was really on your feet, on your wrist, and maybe around your neck, that will even give us impetus. And for Barbados making that move, well, they have done their survey, and Jamaica, their survey came out to be overwhelming also. So they have done their survey, and Barbados always, we are proud people, and Barbados can attest for it, because they're one of the colonies that they were even referred to as Little England, or Little Britain, or Little England. So their Little England don't want to have nothing to do with Big England anymore. It's something that we in the other islands will have to admire. And it is being done when I listen to a lady. She assumed the position of like who the Governor General is, a woman, and also under the leadership of Mayor Motley. It is something to be proud of, because we know that even our governance structure is not gender balanced. And here come the women now asserting themselves to even bring about that. So when all of this is etched into the history, you will see under the leadership of the Governor General, a female, and the leadership of Mayor Motley, a female Prime Minister, they can assert themselves and say, yes, we have accomplished a lot. Like so, we, St. Kitts and Nevis, can say, and we're able to say in the future as we continue our journey, because we were the first British colony, as we were told, 1623. That's a long time. Before even Jamaica and Barbados. Maybe those lands were bigger, but we held our own, and we were both British and French at one time. Bastille can attest to it. You know, the Anglophone, the Saxophone, the Anglophone, the Francophone aspect of it, as opposed to the Anglophone aspect, which was down in Old Road. And so we have a rich history, and we have to assert ourselves. What if put to the test? I have started a drive in terms of getting, persons to put their names to, put their names, write their names, hear their opinion, and ask them a question or two if they feel like we should be this way or go into a Commonwealth. I have started that drive to initiate, agitate for that. And we're not going to be, it don't seem like it's anytime soon.
Okay.
In terms of putting numbers to it if we have to put numbers to it. So
All right, caller.
we are there, but we are sentimental. We are about it. So
Okay.
we shall continue to agitate. Thanks for listening.
All right, let's go to the next caller. Good morning. Welcome to... Okay, lost that caller. Okay. That caller felt that it is a way of completing the journey. All right. By the way, we could still remain a member of the Commonwealth. Commonwealth is a voluntary association here. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
I'll be short and to the point.
Sure.
My grandmother always said, if nothing is wrong with it, don't fix it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. There's one who thinks the status quo remains. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Brother Tony.
Good morning.
Yeah, talking about the school, you know, and you got to close the school because of maybe children get affected by COVID and all these things. I believe that we got to live with COVID. And what I think that the government should do, and the task force should do, they should try to investigate these people in the school, especially some of the men who won't take the vaccine as yet. And when they get affected with COVID, they try to do everybody in the school then. Like somebody get in contact with the COVID and they go to school. They try to, you know, test everybody in the school so they the samples or whatever. Because then you don't can't close the school all the time like that. You don't got to live with COVID. The teachers don't got to continue to teach the children. Some of the children don't start to get backward already. Because closing down and closing up and opening up. The children got to learn. And the COVID can be there.
Okay.
And I believe that what's going to happen, you know, that everybody can get a norm, don't get a norm to this COVID.
Caller,
I'm trying to do what we got to do.
Caller, do you have an opinion on whether this country should remain as it is or move to a republic?
No, we're not going to hear it goodbye.
All right, call us back. We're not hearing you too well, so let's go to the next caller. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Hello, Mr. Nice.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. I'm calling you from New York. This is Sonny Boy.
Good morning.
I'm going to say this up front.
Mm-hmm.
When I was smaller, when the Queen came to St. Kitts, I think it's in 1963, I'm not sure. I had to stand up the bay with a flag waving when she came on the Royal Yacht Britannia. Okay? We were taught to revere her as an icon. And we did. But when I got big, and I look at what England have done for St. Kitts and the British West Indies Islands, to compare with the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, I said, no, man, that's not good for us. Because, you know, we were born in St. Kitts. The head of St. Kitts is the Queen, but we are not considered British citizens. We were British subject. I don't know what's a subject. A subject is something you learn in school. Arithmetic, mathematics, drama, in writing, and whatever. But the people that was born in the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, they are American citizens, not no subject, citizens.
Yeah.
So we don't have nothing to lose if we cut our neighbor strength from England, because England have not done that much for us. All these years, they haven't done that much for us. And if we cut our neighbor string, we don't have nothing to lose. We don't. Because if we cut our neighbor string, the Prime Minister will have more leverage.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. A quick question there, since you brought that up. Do you know why the citizens, as you say they are, of the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico cannot vote for the President of the United States?
They could vote for the president if they move to the mainland.
Okay. So they can't vote from...
They can't vote for the president because they're not a state.
Right.
They're not
Okay.
one of the 50 states.
So they have no representation.
They don't have no senators.
Right.
They only have one representative in Congress.
Who has no vote?
They don't have no senators.
Has no vote.
they haven't, but if they come to America, they can vote.
Okay. All right, continue.
They're citizens.
Continue.
Okay, so what I'm saying to you, Mr. Nice, is that it's about time, man, that we stand on our own feet and cut our neighbor's string and become our own nation. Because, let me say this to you. I'm not 100% sure. But if we become a republic, then the prime minister could do things for the islands, and you don't have to get nobody standing over him to watch over him what he do. Then he could go to the IMF.
What would he be able to do?
World Bank and get whatever he needs for the country.
What would he be able to do different if he become a republic that he is not able to do today?
Well, what he could do different?
Yeah, give me an example.
There's things that you probably don't know, that his hands are tied because the Queen is the head of state. We don't know
tied
what really that means. Nobody knows what it means.
Of course we know.
I don't know if she could reject him if he tried to do anything that she don't like or the British government don't like.
Okay. All right.
And you don't know either.
Okay, Colin.
No, it's not nothing to laugh about, Mr. Nice.
But you're not basing in facts. Base your argument in facts. If you don't know why you're saying it. Why are you saying it?
Okay. I don't know. There's a lot of things goes on in the world that we don't know what happened behind the scenes.
You're making a statement of fact that there's something that he can't do because she would stop him from doing it. But give me an example. You can't just throw it out there. No?
Okay, Mr. Nice.
No example.
Mr. Nice. Thinkers cannot join allegiance to another country.
What do you mean join allegiance?
They can't say, well, we siding with the French or we siding with the Dutch.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Or we siding with the American. They can't do that.
Yes, we can. That is why we are. That is why we have decided to join with to support Taiwan as opposed to mainland China. We made that decision.
Okay, but if the British wanted to stop it, couldn't they stop it?
No, they could not.
I don't know, Mr. Lyles.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, then check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Get those facts right, and then call us back. Okay?
Yeah, I'll check it out. Okay, Mr. Lyles. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure, no problem. Anytime. Let's go to the next caller. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Listen, Mr. Nice.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Major Jones.
Yes, Major Jones.
I want to ask you a little question here, and then maybe if you depend on what your answer is, I will just give a little explanation. What is the meaning? What is the meaning of independence? Or to be independent then? Huh? Hello, you hearing me?
Well, general meaning of independence.
Yes.
You're controlling your own affairs.
You can what?
You can control your own affairs then. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Yes, that might be so.
Okay.
But then if you want to say something?
No, go ahead. Make your point.
But if you say that they're generally doing a whole thing, but what I am saying, from what I learned from the meaning of independence, it means that you're free from the influence or the control of others, people controlling us.
Fair enough, yeah.
Right?
Fair enough.
And if you could remember, I think, I wasn't so young as I think, but I do a lot of reading. I remember that when Mr. Bradshaw decided, well, we should go into independence, he said that to be independent, we must not only develop our social and agricultural infrastructure, but in order that, but we're still begging for technical assistance. We're still begging for technical assistance, and as you say, every independent. We don't want nobody control us.
So if you beg for technical assistance, then you're
I'm a beggar.
So if you beg for technical assistance, you're not independent.
No, I'm begging. The way you see the very word begging, begging. You understand the word begging?
Okay.
A begging, so therefore, if a begging ain't independent.
Okay, got you.
You agree?
No, but I got you.
Well, if you got me, you want to give me a feedback.
No. That's your thought. So we'll leave yours. We'll leave it at that.
Okay, then. Thank you.
Sure, no problem. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid. Good morning, caller.
Morning. How are you?
I am well.
What's the difference of going republic? Will we still get aid because we are now own. What I want to know.
Well, if you need aid and you're asking for aid, whether you're a republic or just, in the current status, makes no difference. If the person who's providing the aid or you're asking for the aid wants to give it to you, they'll still give it to you. It doesn't really matter whether you're...
No different then.
It wouldn't be any different.
Okay then, thanks.
Okay. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to...
All right, brother.
Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable Marcus Messiah Gavin, Queen, and sing. God bless you, my beloved African brother. How are you, the family?
All doing well. You?
Good, man, and the clan is good. Now, brother, everybody know everybody. Now, but before you say that, man, let me heal up my brother Africa, Brother, we got to win this fight. We must win this fight, beloved. And let me say, blessed morning to Queen Mother Sylvie in heaven, man. Brilliant African woman. Now, brother, this thing. And let me say, Brother Nayas, and Brother Africa said, quote unquote, crown lands. The crown land thing. That mean that England only land them. That is still in the Constitution, beloved. That them own the land. How? Elizabeth and she gang who own all of these lands on the African continent and in the African diaspora. Total nonsense. That's why they always refer to go so-called crown land. Land belongs to African people in St. Kitts Nevis, beloved. Our people shed blood, sweat, and tears and pay the ultimate prices. That's it. That's why we got to get rid of this nonsensical constitution, beloved. Brother, and let me say, I am for republic, to become a republic, not a ceremonial republic like a Trinidad and Tobago and the Commonwealth of Dominica. That's total joke. That's joke. You're serious? You go, you become republic, you have a Congress, House of Representatives, not like United States now, so nobody come with the crap about that thing, okay? A Congress, Lower House, Upper House is Senate, beloved. We deal with that. But then we have an executive president, vice president, beloved, also separate and equal. You got the thing for the Congress, the election for the Congress, and you got it for the president and vice president, beloved. We must do that. Must do that. Anything short. And there's a lot of other stuff too. And president cannot have no more than 2 terms. 7 years, 7 years. Whether consecutive or otherwise. No one cannot serve as president for more than 14 years. When it comes to the Congress, no more than 18 years. No, sorry. When it comes to the Senate, no senators no more than 18 years. House of Representatives, no more than 20 years, beloved. Can't go on with people believe that little deities and deitesses. No, man. Nobody's supposed to be. I don't care how brilliant you are. It must come a time. Give young people space, man. Give young people space. They have the intellectual abilities. They're visionary. Give them space. When you don't shine, let somebody else shine. Don't let it be out. Okay, I had enough now. Put it in the new Constitution of St. Kitts Nevis. And in that, we must get rid of the Privy Council. But we got to clean up the law courts in each territory in CARICOM, because there where the problem lies. Oh, me and you went to grammar school together. Oh, me and you went to UWI. Oh, me and you went to Cambridge. Oh, me and you went to Oxford. No, man. We got to done with that, brother. But journey must begin with education. Educating our people. You reason. But for republic, we must get rid of colonialism once and for all. beloved, they must come with things that for us, that suits us, that work for us. Must get rid of that. And let me say, right, when the Rastafarian movements in Jamaica wrote to Elizabeth, you know what she responded was for reparation? Oh, at that time, enslavement of African people and the transatlantic slave trade was legal. So because something is quote-unquote legal, that don't make it just and right. You see, that will show these Negroes and backward thinking people. Elizabeth and them, British should do so much evil things. I mean, all of them. Do a lot of evil, but the British have done the most evil to African people. And no one cannot dispute that. Why you want to hold on to them? Come on, wake up.
Okay.
Wake up, beloved. Brother, thanks again for hearing me. Keep up the great works, Pan-Africanism and Paris. One love, my African brother.
All right, one love. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid. Good morning, caller. You're live. Okay.
We might independent constitutionally, right?
Mm-hmm.
But economically, I do not think no small country in the Caribbean could survive without trade with other countries economically. Because, look, okay, Guyana got oil, Trinidad got oil, Guyana got oil, gold, they got backside, they got everything. And they still got to depend on other countries. We don't here, we ain't got nothing. But depend on tourism, instead of sugar cane. We got agriculture. You understand? So we got to depend on other countries out there to trade with and tourists to come in to provide for us. We are independent. We independent constitutionally, in a sense, because we could do certain things and we won't be told to return. You understand? But economically, we can't depend on ourselves. We have nothing to depend on. We got to trade with other countries. We got to share with other countries. And we got to depend on tourism. We can't depend on agriculture alone here. We just own the land. Because as far as I'm concerned, shrinking is turning like a concrete jungle. Houses going up every day and everywhere. So I do not see the big thing about independence and this and that and the other and whatever with the Queen and whatever. You know what? We got to depend on other countries too. We can't survive on our own. All right then.
Okay. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Good morning, Mr. Nass.
Good morning, sir.
Yes. This is one issue that one of the few issues that I think Brother Nabu and I agree on.
Okay.
The thing is, even though the Queen does not interfere in our affairs, from a legal standpoint, doesn't she retain the authority to do so? If she chose, for instance, to intervene on whatever issue, what would we do? Remember, we still have the Privy Council as our final arbiter.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think they will, or which side do you think they will fall on if, for instance, the Queen's authority is challenged? Or worse, if she chose to enforce whatever edict she chose, can we just ignore it? We don't have an army that can stand up to Britain. Okay? So, from a legal standpoint, you know, she still holds the reins of power, even though she don't use it. We're still holding on to the vestiges of colonialism. And until we make that clean break by becoming a republic, we will not be truly independent. I would say, however, that given our post-colonial experience, we have not yet matured politically to handle the dictates of republicanism, you know, to handle what becoming a republic entails. And I, for one, would prefer to see meaningful constitutional change for us that would preserve our rights and guard against tyranny and the abuse of power. The idea that we can become a republic where we are answerable to just local power and authority, which, as far as I can see currently, does not really respect its citizens, and can manipulate local justice. And that's anathema to me. Okay? At least the present association with the Crown tempers what they do, because they know that there is some authority out there that may be able to intervene if they get too far out of line. But the bottom line is we do need to become a republic. It represents the final stage in our evolution to independence and sovereignty. But we have work to do on our governance and constitution, our dispensing of justice and the rule of law before taking that final step. Right? I see too much potential right now for failure if those things do not precede taking that final step. I don't think judging from decisions that have been made by the political directorate that that I would be comfortable with ceding absolute power to current leaders. I don't think they have a commitment, shall we say, and a mentality that fosters democracy. Right? To me, they're all about gaining and maintaining political power by hook or by crook, and to think of becoming a republic under those conditions. You see too many examples in places like Latin America and so on, where that descend into things like dictatorship. Okay, so that's my view.
Okay, so there's a position, a yes for republic, but with a but. Okay, back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Mr. Nice,
yes.
Kind of very interesting conversation. Remember, I brought this up to you yesterday.
Yes.
Still, nobody can answer the question I asked. When I was a young boy, the first time when I traveled, they would give you a piece of paper that you have to fill out on the plane when you're going to the other island. And the few times I went before, I had to put on which is subject. And one day I decided that I'm not a subject. I'm a citizen. The Sankis has to become independent for me to become a citizen. From the moment I born in a country, I'm a citizen of that country. And I started writing down citizen, Sankis Nevis, until eventually when we change and it becomes standard. That's when we went independence. Up to now, if going republic gonna change, like just recently I hear how royal opposition. What kind of royal opposition? Her Majesty's prison. I mean, why are we holding on to that, to the Queen? Why are we holding on to the Queen? You see, economically, is it going to be better for us if we go republic? These are things I want to hear. If we're going to go to a republic to change royal this and crown land and all the rest of it, then so be it. Because I hate to hear that the royalties is, I mean, Britain thief left, right, and center. You hear about the Queen got is the biggest diamond or something like that in her crown. Where the heck she get from? They stole it from Africa. So if it means going republic to change all this crap about royal this and our Majesty's prison and all the rest, I totally agree with that. I hate to hear anything about the Queen. They abandoned us years ago. They robbed the place. They had a slavery. And today we're still holding on to royalty. So if it means going to republic just to change that, then so be it.
Okay.
But economically, is it going to be better for us? I don't know how we are now. Then I say we must well remain the way we are. So if we're going to do that, it must be some kind of benefit to us. Not just to change our royal prison. There must be some other benefits. Thank you.
Okay. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and
Mr. Morris,
yes, sir.
I'm calling you back from New York.
Sure.
You told me to bring you the facts, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now I'm going to bring you the facts. What do England produce? What England national products that they got to produce? They ain't got no oil. They ain't got no sugar. What do they have? They took all that out of the Caribbean. Cotton, tobacco, sugar. When I used to live home, I used to work for Hospital. For us to sell sugar to America, England have to approve it. Our sugar that we grow in St. Kitts had to approve by reselling it to Canada and the United States. Because I used to work for Hospital on the launch. We used to pull the sugar barges. And the ships them coming to take sugar to America. And the captain would tell us, England have to approve them buying our sugar. England don't produce nothing. They don't have no national resources. So all they did in the history of them is steal and rob from India and those African countries. All the Caribbean islands sell their sugar and all the material to them. And they decide, in America, the biggest colony, they used to take cotton and tobacco, all kind of stuff from the United States. And that's how the British Empire become rich and prop up a woman and her father, King George. And they never own nothing. So don't tell me about, show me the facts. The facts are there. England don't produce nothing. They don't have nothing. They don't have no natural resources. All they did was rob and steal forever. And they're still doing that to the Caribbean islands. So whether or not the Caribbean islands benefit, they should cut the table string, cut the ties completely. It's time. It's over 400 years. How much more we want with them? They're not going to do no more for us. Let me be sure. If St. Kitts cut the ties with England, we could turn to the French. We could turn to the Dutch. We could get more closer to the United States. We know we're not obligated to be with the British. So don't tell me about showing you the facts. Them is facts I'm telling you now. We don't have nothing to lose whether we cut our tie or not. And that's all I have to say, because that stuff upset me, man. It's time for us to leave. The show is over.
Okay. Thank you. We could get another call in here. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Hello. Nice.
Yes.
Hey, this is all the argument about the public. We only here in the world for a time. We ain't study now. What we living under, we gotta live under. We ain't got nothing to represent to say we could be on our own completely. We still gotta look for other countries. That's the whole world. So all the man chatting a lot of nonsense. Still, why you being in America? You ain't a real American. America is from America. We born in Africa, we go back to Africa. That's all. The republic thing sounds so stupid, boy, because to be a republic, you got your own money, your money gonna go right down. It's like how Trinidad suffering. And all them places there, suffering. You know? They still got to depend on other things. If crisis come in the country, there's going to be a war, other countries got to step in to cool it down. If you have a riot here. All them things, I don't believe in this republic thing, man. All I know, Africa go back to Africa, everybody go back to their own country. That's all I believe.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. All right. And, is that it? Okay. We can take this one. Caller, you got we up against the clock. Go ahead. Quickly, you're live. You hearing me, caller?
Hello.
We got a short time. Go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry I have a short time. I've been trying to get in for the past half hour, tell the truth.
Okay.
I wanted to make a couple of points. I guess I don't have the time to do that now.
No.
I wanted to highlight the four main reasons that people, that one proposes in order to establish a platform for becoming a republic, and to systematically deconstruct each of them. But there's no time for that now. I just wanted to find out, though, if we're talking about going to republic status in order to sever the last vestiges of our relationship, colonial relationship, does that mean we're going to also abandon English as our official language?
I don't know.
Does that mean we're also going to do away with the Westminster type of government and politics that we now practice? I wanted to find out if attaining republic status means at last will be mentally emancipated. I wanted to know whether it means that we'll be able to afford things, not just financially, but otherwise, that we cannot afford now. And what I'm in favor of, actually, is we need to cease and desist from swearing allegiance to Her Majesty, or His Majesty, heirs and successors. I believe that's what we need to stop with immediate effect. And we should begin to swear forth allegiance to the country and people.
Okay.
But I am not so certain that we need a head of state in the first place, whether it be Republican, under Republican status, or as currently obtains. I'm not even sure if we need a head of state. Why can't we combine them both? Or why can't we go head of government service, head of state? But like I said, there isn't time to
let's leave it. Let's pick up from there tomorrow. That's going to do it for us here on today's Frank and Candid. I am Tony Nass. Thank you all for your calls, your opinions, suggestions, all of those. We will be back tomorrow, and we'll pick up from there. All right? Have a great day.
Citizen Radio, entertaining the nation, enjoyed by the world.
Farm care. Fill your prescription from the comfort of your home or wherever you are in these 3 easy steps. 1. Take a picture of your prescription and send it to us via WhatsApp. 2. Place your order at least 1 hour before you come to pick up your medication. And 3. Bring your original prescription when you come to pick up your medication. To collect your medication at